Well, hello, everyone. I'm Deanna Phelan, president of the New Brunswick Equestrian Association. Thanks for joining us this evening, for those that registered through Zoom, and also for those that are joining us with the streaming to Facebook. And also a shout out to Prince Edward Island, Valerie, and all your merry islanders that are joining the call as well. Welcome to our presenter this evening, Danielle Yaghdjian from Pickering, Ontario. Actually, Danielle is no stranger to New Brunswick. She was here several years ago and started the Rookie Rider program with a lot of our instructors in New Brunswick. And just last fall, she was here and evaluated 5 new candidates who were all successful in becoming instructors. I just want to say on behalf of the NBEA that coaching is and has remained a high priority for the board as far as programming and financial assistance. So we're really excited that we can call on Danielle's expertise as we move into 2022 and start helping all of you navigate the journey into becoming an instructor or coach. So before I turn it over to Danielle, there's just 2 housekeeping things, is that this session is being videoed or taped. So you'll be able to bring that up for future reference or to review. And also we're going to take questions from Zoom only, and that will be at the end of the presentation, and it'll be kind of channeled through, or Nancy will be able to present those to Danielle. So without further ado, Danielle, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight. It is 6 o'clock in Ontario, so not quite so late. One thing I would also like to comment on, that if someone has a question as I'm going through the PowerPoint, they could always write the question in the chat, just so they don't forget it. And then at the end of this presentation, we will follow up with all the questions. Okay, so you can go ahead to the PowerPoint. Thank you. Okay, so again, my name is Danielle. I'm Danielle Yaghdjian from Ontario. I am a master coach developer for Equestrian Canada. I am also a coach developer for the Nccp, which is the National Coaching Certification Program of Canada as well. And I'm also an evaluator. I also teach and train the Rookie Riders program for Equestrian Canada, and as well as do a lot of the online courses and workshops that we do through EC and the eCampus. Okay, so you can go ahead to the next slide. So this is the reason why I'm sure all of you are here tonight, and that is, why should we get certified as an instructor? So certification demonstrates that the individual is professional and accountable, able to adhere to the established standards of ethics and the EC Code of Conduct. The coaching program is formatted to develop skills of planning, equestrian knowledge, and technical competency. It provides a standardized, inclusive, and safe sport education to coaches. Equestrian Canada certified coaches are recognized for achieving a standard of coaching skills that provides potential clients with a nationally recognized measures of skills, rather than just relying on a word of mouth. With certification, instructors become part of a national and provincial community of coaches that can access programs, continue education, and funding opportunities. Obtaining a certificate is an important lifetime achievement. I apologize. Okay, slide. So these are the certifications that are offered through Equestrian Canada. We have our English instructor with jumping, Western instructor, driving instructor, and saddle seat instructor. One question I did ask before we had everyone join us for this call is where everyone in this audience is looking to become certified or interested in maybe possibly in certified under, whether it's English, Western, drive, or saddle seat. And I think that the NBEA is going to follow up with an email, because that's really important information that they would need going forward when they're trying to book these training programs, prep programs, and the actual evaluations. Okay, slide. So this is the pathway to instructor certification. So I'm just going to point all these out, but I am going to go into more detail as we progress through this whole PowerPoint. So number 1, you need to hold an NBEA membership in good standing. Step 2 is hold an active EC sport license in good standing. Step 3 is contact NBEA to declare your interest and put yourself on the contact list for available training. Step 4, you then achieve discipline-specific prerequisites. Step 5, you then attend available preparation and education courses. Step 6, you complete the Make an Ethical Decisions online evaluation. Then 7, you hold an active registered coach status in good standing through Equestrian Canada. And then finally at 8, you complete your evaluation. Okay, slide. So step 1. So I'm sure most of you on this call are actually have a membership with your PTSO. So this is a New Brunswick membership fees for 2022. Adult membership is $60, junior membership is $50, family membership that includes one adult and one other in the same household is $100. And so that's the first thing you need to do before you think about working towards a certification. Okay, and next slide. Then you need your Equestrian Canada sport license. So the Equestrian Canada sport license are an annual license that provides a wide range of benefits and services to competitors, horse owners or lessees, coaches, officials, competition organizers, and other participants at EC sanctioned competitions. The EC sport license purchases and renewals can be done through the EC's online portal on MyEC, which is on equestrian.ca, which is their website. So I'm going to just point out where these license fees fall in the actual coaching stream for Equestrian Canada. But when you do purchase your sport license, you also want to think about what kind of competition stream you want to go into, as well as if you're an official, then you need to go to a certain license. So within the coaching stream, to apply to obtain or maintain just the EC coach status, you only need the bronze license. And so that is a fee of $32. You need a silver license to apply to be or maintain status as an EC certified instructor, comp coach, or comp coach specialist. And then you need a gold license to apply to be or maintain the status for all those coach contexts, including high performance 1. Okay, slide. Step 3 is where you contact your provincial organization and just declare your interest in that you want to become certified, that you're looking for more training. So with the NBA, where they have 2 provincial managers of coaching. So the English is Nicole, which I believe is on this call. And then the Western is Cindy. And so by declaring your interest to your province, that gives them an idea of how much interest there is and how many evaluations or training programs they would need to do going forward through that year, so that they have enough available for everyone that wants to get certified that year. It also gives them an idea of what contacts everyone's interested in, whether it's the instructor level, comp coach, or high performance or coach specialist. Okay, slide. Step 4, instructor admission prerequisites. So at this point, instructor candidates must meet the following certification-specific admission requirements prior to the evaluation. So you need to be at least 16 years of age or must have their application signed by a parent or legal guardian. And you must achieve the Learn to Ride English level 6 or a Western level 4. Slide. Step 5, this is where you want to do all your preparation and education. So at every level of coaching certification, there are several opportunities for training through the National Coaching Certification Program, Equestrian Canada, and New Brunswick Equestrian Association. Multi-sport and sport-specific training is highly recommended for preparation and will improve your skills as a coach candidate. Okay, go ahead to the next slide. So all of these educational courses, some of them are mandatory, and I'll point out what are mandatory that you do have to become a coach. A lot of them are not mandatory or are highly recommended. And there's quite a few that actually cover the outcomes that you need to show at your evaluation. And so that's why we highly recommend it, so that you do some training before you actually have to do those outcomes in front of an evaluator. So these courses are available through the National Coaching Association, and they're all online training. So the first one is making headway in sport, which is a concussion training. And that is something that you do need to have to become a certified coach. Second one is making ethical decisions, which is a 4-hour training that's online. It is recommended, but not required. You do have to do a make an ethical decision evaluation. That is required. So you do not need to do the training to do the evaluation. And again, I'm going to go into detail a little bit more in this PowerPoint with the MED and how that works for you guys. Then there's the basic mental skills, which is 4 hours. This is an optional workshop. The teaching and learning, which is 2.5 hours. And again, that is an optional workshop. Just to point out that both the basic mental skills and the teaching and learning are now multi-sport modules. Prior to COVID, I guess you could say, that it was equestrian specific, but now they've moved it out of that and made it multi-sport. EC coaches are being encouraged to attend other multi-sport training to improve their coaching tool set. So if you go on the coach.ca website, you're going to find that there's a lot of different online training opportunities available to you, and there is a lot of free ones as well. If you're a certified coach or working towards a certified coach, these all count as PD points in your locker, and it basically tells you tells your province how much training you've done as a coach. Okay, slide. So these educational courses, again, are optional, and they can be found through the Equestrian Canada eCampus, which is equestrian.ca, and these are all online training. The long-term equestrian development is 2 hours. The plan equestrian practice includes emergency action plan is 7.5 hours. That one does cover some of the outcomes that you need to demonstrate for your certification. Design an equestrian sport program is 8 hours. Manage an equestrian sport program is 4 hours. The analyze performance is 4 hours. And again, the analyze performance covers outcomes that you need to demonstrate at your evaluation. Okay, slide. Okay, and then these courses are offered through the NBEA, and they're all in-class sessions. So the first one is plan and equestrian practice. That is 4 hours. The teaching and learning is 4 hours. The analyze performance is 4 hours. Just to point out now, the teaching and learning for the in-class is equine specific, where the online one is multi-sport. Then you have your coach and prep clinic, which is 8 hours and is very strongly recommended. The coach and prep clinic basically gives you an idea of what to expect when you go for an evaluation. It also gives you the opportunity to teach in front of another evaluator and get some feedback from them and learn what you do well and what you need to work on before you go into your real evaluation going forward. And then also available through the NBA is a coach mentoring program, which is strongly recommended, which I'm sure someone from the NBA can talk a little bit more about that later on, because I'm not quite sure how you guys run that. Okay, next one. Okay, these are all in-person online educational courses and programs. So we have our NCCP Make an Ethical Decisions, which is 4 hours, and this is recommended. So again, the actual online one is not something you have to do, but the actual evaluation you do have to do. Then we have our NCCP Planning and Practice, our NCCP Basic Mental Skills, NCCP Prevention and Recovery, NCCP Coaching and Leading Effectively, and the NCCP Managing Conflict. Okay, and slide. Okay, so this is the Make an Ethical Decision course. So this competition introduction multi-sport module will fully equip you to handle virtually any ethical situation with confidence and surety. Registration is available on the NCCP website, which is on coach.ca. And again, these are the two options you have. So either you can do the online or in-class training, then you proceed to do an online evaluation after that, and you have unlimited attempts to successfully complete the evaluation. Option 2 is not to do the in-class or online training and go right into the evaluation. There is a fee if you don't do the online training of $85, and you have 2 attempts at passing the evaluation. If after 2 attempts you have not received a passing grade of 75%, then you will need to re-register through the coach.ca website. Okay, next slide. And step 7 is your coach status. So right now we have our registered and our licensed coach status. Slide. So there is some confusion. What is the difference between a coach status and the certification? So coach status verifies that a series of requirements have been met by a coach to confirm in order to recognize them as active, granted by Equestrian Canada. So currently, someone could have a coach status but not be a certified coach through Equestrian Canada. The certification verifies specific coaching competencies. So the certification is when you actually go into an evaluation and you're evaluated on your coaching style and that you meet all the requirements as a certified coach. So again, a coach status, you don't have to be certified right now to get your coach status. That is in the works going forward. I think it was a timeline of 5 years from now. So right now we have our licensed coach status and we have our registered coach status. So the licensed coach status says certification. So anyone that is certified has the option of becoming a licensed coach status if you want to use the Equestrian Canada programs. But if you don't want to use the Equestrian Canada programs, then you can stay as a registered coach. Okay, go on to the next slide. So these are the coach status. So registered coach is required for any Nccp instructor evaluation. So when you apply for your coach status for your evaluation, you only need to, again, apply as a registered coach. Then when you become certified as a coach, you have the option of moving up into the licensed coach status. Okay, slide. So the registered coach are self-declared coaches. So those are coaches that basically do this for a living, but are not necessarily certified through Equestrian Canada. They're established coaches working towards certification. They're certified coaches that do not wish to get the license status at this time, or certified instructor coaches that do not wish to coach at EC sanctioned competitions or deliver EC programs. So to become a registered coach, you need to be 16 years of age, have a valid EC sport license, have level 2 screening, EC policies acknowledgement signed, a safe sport training, which is fostering healthy environments, concussion awareness, and emergency first aid. And then you also get insurance, which is $2 million CGL and $1 million professional liability. Okay, slide. And then coming in winter of 2022 is what they're going to call the coach in training status. So this is for the coaches that are working towards a certification. It's going to be a little bit cheaper than the actual registered coach status right now. The only difference is with this one is you do have to work under or supervised by a licensed coach in order to get this one. So you need to be 16 years of age. You still need to do your safe sport training. You need to be supervised by a licensed coach. You still need to complete the screening disclosure form. You're still insured by the supervising coach, or if you show a proof of insurance, and you must hold status of maximum of 3 years. Okay, so you can't hold that for longer than 3 years. Okay, slide. So these are the prerequisites at a glance. So again, step 1, you needed your NBA membership. Step 2, you need your EC membership. Step 3, you need to have your English Rider 6 or Pony Club C2 or Western Rider 4. You need to have a current standard first aid certificate. And this is in person for 16 hours. I believe over COVID, they're doing 1 day in person, 1 day online. You need to have a police reference check with a vulnerable sector check, make it ethical decisions online evaluation, make it Headway in sport EC concussion training, EC fostering healthy environment equestrian environments, which can be done off the EC website, eCampus, assigned Equine Canada Code of Ethics and Coaching Code of Conduct, and then the EC registered coach status. Okay, slide. So once you've done all of that, then you're ready for your evaluation. The evaluation requirements consist of 2 evaluation activities covering the 4 outcomes for the instructor certification. So first you need to have a portfolio evaluation, and then you need to have your observable evaluation. Slide. So your portfolio is just basically the paperwork that you need to send into your evaluator before you go into your actual teaching and the evaluation day, all the requirements for that. So with the Western, you need to have 1 written lesson plan focused on a topic that is assigned to you by NBAA, and you must have an emergency action plan for their primary facility. For the English, you need to have 1 written lesson plan focused on a flat topic that is assigned to you, 1 lesson plan focused on a jump topic that is assigned to you, assuming that you are going to go ahead with the jump section of that. You must have an emergency action plan for your facility. The topics are assigned a minimum of 2 weeks before the evaluation. Candidates have 1 week to submit completed lesson plans to the evaluator for feedback. So at this point, once the evaluator receives the portfolio, there is some pre-briefs and debriefs with the candidates before they actually go in for their evaluation. And so you do get some feedback before you actually have to go and be evaluated in front of that facilitator. Okay, slide. Okay, the observable evaluation. So this is when you're actually going to go and teach in front of someone. So the candidate will be evaluated by in-person observation instructing a driving or mounted lesson, including an additional jumping lesson for instructor, English with jump candidates, lunging, and an unmounted stable management lesson. Evaluations are typically conducted with up to 4 coach candidates at a time and run for approximately 8 hours long. The host facility will provide the candidates with horses and riders for the lessons. The evaluation day will include teaching the lesson or lessons. So again, if you're doing a jump component for English, then you would have the 2 lessons that you're teaching. Then you need to teach a lunge lesson, which is an analyzed performance lesson on the lunge line. Then you need to do a written test, and then you need to do a stable management and oral interview with the evaluator. The typical cost is $300 for the evaluations and another $150 for the jump module. Okay, slide. And we're at the end. So questions?
One person is asking about the stable management plan. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
The actual oral?
She just has stable management plan. Donna, do you want to chime in and let us know what you were wondering about?
Your slide just said that there was a jump lesson plan and a flat lesson plan that you submitted, but don't we submit a stable management plan also?
That is correct, yes. Yes.
And a lesson plan for that also?
Yes, a written lesson plan for that. That is correct.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so that is a topic that is assigned to you ahead of time as well. And so stable management, usually it's grooming a horse, leading and turning a horse, just basic lesson topics that you would teach a beginner rider.
Our next question, can you explain the difference between certified and licensed? Again, that terminology is so confusing.
Absolutely. Could you go back through the PowerPoint to that slide?
Give me a second. Here we go. This one?
Okay. Yep. Perfect. So the difference is for so it's not a license. I'm assuming that the person asking the question means the coach status. Is that correct?
She just said difference between licensed and certified.
Okay. So there's a coach license there's the coach status, and there's certification. So a license is basically a membership that you pay for through Equestrian Canada. And that membership is for anyone that wants to compete at an EC sanctioned horse show, for any official or a coach developer that needs to use their programs. The coach status is for anyone that wants to become certified, or anyone that in the future wants to compete at certain horse shows that are EC sanctioned. The certification is where you are actually evaluated on your skills in front of evaluator, and then you get a certificate at the end of that, just basically saying that you have been evaluated as a coach at whatever context you go through. So whether it's instructor, comp coach, high performance specialist. I'm not sure if that answers the question for that person.
I'll get her to type back in if she wants clarification.
Yeah. It can be confusing because there's so many different streams within the EC web.
I know. We keep trying to create some kind of visual to sort it all out, and it's like untangling raveled yarn. Next question. If you're already a certified coach or instructor, like several of our participants are, do you have to have a registered coach or licensed coach status?
Currently, you do not have to have one. I believe it's they gave a timeline last year of 5 years. If you want to coach at an EC sanctioned competition, then you need to have a coach status. But currently, it's so confusing. Okay, can you go back to that slide again? Actually, go back to the coach status slides.
Okay. Whoops, wrong thing to share. Hang on. Okay, this one?
No, yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. Okay, so these are the two coach statuses. If you are a current certified coach and you do not use any of the EC programs, that being if you do not run Ricky Riders, or you do not do the Learn to Ride program within your barn, or you don't evaluate for Learn to Ride, you do not have to have any coach status right now. If you're in the process of becoming certified, you do need to start going in through the coach status. The ones that are certified right now will have to have a coach status. Do you have that chart on you where it has the years, the timelines?
I can dig around and find it once I stop sharing the screen.
There is a timeline where maybe it's something that you can send out by email.
Yes, I'll do that.
Everyone? Yep. Yeah. So there is a timeline where everyone that is certified through Equestrian Canada has to have a coach status, whether it is a registered or licensed coach status.
Right.
And again, it's going to tie in with any kind of programs that you would use with DC. So whether it's the Learn to Ride, Ricky Riders, and it also ties into what kind of competitions that you go to.
Just finding my place in the chat here.
Yep.
For those that are new to the statuses, and especially the new one that's coming out this winter, Coach in Training, can you clarify what is meant by proof of insurance they have to provide, which I think means coach insurance?
Yes.
Yeah, so it, not just general liability from a property they own or coach on.
That's correct. So there is a form that you need to have filled out by your insurer. And once you have that signed and filled out by your insurance company, you then add it to the eCampus, to your status on the eCampus.
Okay. If you're applying to become an instructor, you need to get your silver level from EC and not the bronze? Question mark.
No.
just bronze, unless they
Yes,
want to
yes.
compete at gold.
Correct. Yeah, if you're applying, yes.
Yep. Please provide the details for maintaining whichever status we achieve. Is there a process for re-achieving certification if life events prevent maintenance for a few years?
And this is status, not certification, correct?
Well, she's used both terms.
Okay,
You
so
can speak to both.
yeah, so
The
with
whole
your
idea.
status,
Yep.
with your status does expire every year. So you do need to reapply. That being said, you don't need to do all the prerequisites again. And so once you've done all those prerequisites, it stays in the system until it expires. For example, your first aid usually is three years. So once you get it in the system, 3 years later, it will let you know, okay, your first aid is expiring. You need to update it. The only thing that you do need to update in the eCampus is your insurance, because that, of course, you're going to get a new insurance policy every year.
Right.
And then, sorry, and then the coaching certification.
Mm.
And so the question was if they let it lapse. Is that correct?
Is there a process for re-achieving certification? I guess that's speaking to if you're if you don't stay updated as a certified coach and time has elapsed, how do you
Okay, so the easiest way to find out is to go into your locker, which is in coach.ca. And once you go into your locker, you can see what components that you need to update yourself. Usually it's the first aid and it's the professional development. Professional development, you need a certain amount of PD points every few years to upkeep your certification. And so if you can see how many PD points you have, and if you need to do more, there's several options that you have, then all those options are available on the coach.ca website. So you could do online training, you can mentor with another coach, you can do clinics, and then you send all that in to the NBAA, and then they would update your locker from there. Assuming that you guys update the lockers in your province?
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone asked, will be able to get a copy of the PowerPoint? Absolutely. You'll be able to access these resources two ways. We are recording this entire session, and we'll provide a link to our YouTube channel on our website for the whole thing. And the PowerPoint itself we've created it with hot links. So if you're looking at a page and it's talking about eCampus, you can click on the link and go right there. And we'll have that up on our website early this week. I will email everybody who's registered and include all of the resources and where you can access them from this session. We're still working our way down through the set of questions in the chat, and then we'll open it up. Some people want to ask verbally. Okay. Excuse me. Are there financial grants to help with this? Are those available province-wide or just within a certain zone or zones? Maybe Deanna, you can speak to that one.
Sure, thanks, Nancy. Yeah, the NBEA has always financially, number one, if you become an instructor or coach, we will give you $500 once you show your certification. So we're the only province that does that in Canada. What we're going to go, that's obviously you've done all the time and energy putting into getting your certification. A lot of the prep clinics that we do are very financially attractive to attend. But we've just approved a new budget for the NBEA, and there's over $30,000 that we're looking to approve to put into coaching this year. So we're going to do regular Zoom meetings with Danielle, hopefully over the winter, to help people. And we're going to have some demos and some mentoring sessions that we're going to do probably starting in April and May when the weather is attractive and people are going to get out and start teaching more and become involved in a face-to-face situation. We'll hopefully be able to provide mentors that will be able to help you start your journey. I know this looks very daunting right now, but I'm going to remind you that, you know, you're playing with fire now. You're going to start coaching, and you're not protected, and you don't understand all the things that you need to have. You need to be proactive in getting involved with these programs. So we're going to have a lot of manpower available to you, not just Nicole and Cindy as coaching managers, but also Nancy in the office. And we've got 2 evaluators in the province that are certainly willing to help. So we've always made things very financially attractive for people to attend, and whether it's been the prep clinics or the actual evaluation. So if you do your prerequisites and get involved and you put your name on a list, we will certainly financially make it attractive for you to get on the pathway and see it to the end. I can absolutely promise you that. There's a lot of people attending tonight, but believe me, when it comes to the first prep clinic, we'll be lucky to drag 5 or 10 of you out to it. So I'm hoping that you are interested. And this is not too daunting this evening, but you need to come and get involved, and we will find a mentor who can help you and, you know, circumvent all this paperwork that needs to be done online and offline. So that's a long-winded answer to say, if you show the interest, we will absolutely help you leading up to the evaluation. And if you get, you're successful, we budgeted $5,000. So for 10 people out there to receive $500 back after you have been successful in your evaluation.
Some of the
That's awesome.
NVDA zone committees also have funding available when people become certified instructors or coaches. So check out our website, look at the zones section in the directory, and reach out to your zone committee chair because money is available from that route as well.
Yeah, and I would like to mention how lucky your province is that you have that kind of financial help and funding available within your province. We don't see anything like that in Ontario. I just find it amazing that you're supporting your coaches in that way. It's really good.
Thank you.
And hopefully people take advantage of it.
Hope so. All right, back to questions. Is it possible to be evaluated as a competition coach without having done the instructor level of evaluation?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay.
So when you do your evaluation, you go in whatever context that you want to go into.
Super. I understand that this year, 2022, anyone who wishes to coach at an EC sanctioned show or use the programs must have at least registered status this year. I was under the understanding that it was the coach license status, is it not?
It's licensed for using the EC programs.
Okay, yes,
But you could be registered for an EC show.
I see.
So
Okay.
anytime that you want to use any of the EC programs, at that point, you need to have the license status.
Okay.
But you can go to competition with just the registered status
Okay.
right now, currently.
For the new winter 2022 program, we are already apprenticing, in quotes, under an EC licensed coach, is it possible to have that count towards the program?
I can't answer that one because they haven't launched that. I'm assuming that they're talking about the new status.
Could well be.
Yeah, so they haven't launched that with the information, with the details yet.
Mhm.
So they did say winter 2022 was coming out. They did say that to us in November. We are in January now, so hopefully we have a couple of months left of winter, so hopefully we'll see it soon, and then we'll get more information on that.
Right. Let's see. Can you go into more detail about the coaching insurance? Is there a discount if you're certified compared to if you're not? And they're also asking, is this with Capri, CMW, or other companies?
Yeah, so I'm not an insurance company, but I do know that the majority of them do give a discount for certified coaches. So it is actually quite a lot cheaper if you're certified versus not certified. The ones that I have spoken to is BFL and Capri.
Right. That's everything I have in the chat at this point.
Yeah,
Wait a second.
one thing I would like to mention also, if anyone wants more information on the coaching program, on the Equestrian Canada website, there is the coaches operation manuals that's available to you.
Okay.
And that's under the coaching page on that website. And the coaching operations manual has all the information in it, whether it's licensing, your coach status, certification, what to expect at an evaluation, prerequisites for an evaluation, the objectives. It has all the information in there as well.
Danielle, I found that timeline slide if we want to take a look at that.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay, just let me get it up and running. I have to find you again. I have so many windows open. All right, here we go. Whoops, that one.
Okay, so here we are, 2022. So registered coach status required for all EC Canada sanctioned events. So basically what they're telling you is that anyone wants to compete this year in any EC sanctioned events, you only need to have a registered coach status. So you don't need to have the license status. And that, of course, you can see that there's no talk about any coaching in there. So any currently certified coaches for 2022, you do not have to have any of the statuses. But the ones going as new coaches through the system, it is one of your prerequisites.
Right.
And then 2023 platinum and gold sanction events required licensed coach status. And then silver and bronze sanction events require registered coach status. And then 2024 licensed coach status required at all EC sanction events. And then licensed coach status and certification required at all EC sanction events in 2025.
Because for currently, you can become a licensed coach and not have NCCP coaching certification. I'm looking at the difference between the 2024 and the 2025. It can be licensed with, I think it's Pony Club A or a pair therapeutic riding instructor certification and get your EC coach license. But by 2025, when it says certification, they're talking about NCCP. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2025, by 2025, everyone needs to have both a status and be certified.
Right
If you want to coach at an EC sanction competition.
Right. Clear as mud, isn't it all? Okay. Val Patton says, I think we are waiting for the latest update to the operations manual still.
I believe they have updated it. They had posted it. I want to say the new one was posted in November. They just didn't tell anyone. But the new one on the website is the newest version.
Right.
And it does have all the status requirements in there.
Another question, there's some confusion about coaching insurance and when that comes into play. Julie's asking, the insurance is needed for registered coach status.
Yeah.
And you need that before you can be evaluated for coaching certification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm reading it now, so you can wait to apply for the registration. So that is correct. I believe that there is insurance companies, being Capri and BFL, that if you contact them and tell them that you are currently looking to be certified and you're working towards it and you're applying as a registered coach status for EC, that they will apply the discount for you. but you would have to contact them personally and let them know.
Okay, good to know. That's the bottom of my chat list. No, it isn't. Can you provide a ballpark of insurance costs?
Sorry, I don't know.
We've got some certified insured coaches on the call here. Anybody want to chime in and let us know what the baseline cost for insurance is? Join us.
Cindy Dolder, mine was $350 for 5 million. And it was for, anyway, it's about $350.
Yep.
And is that as a certified coach? Or?
Oh, yes, a certified coach, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And can I ask you who that was through?
Capri.
Capri, yeah, so that would be with the discount. Yeah, so as a non-certified coach, I believe the last time we looked it up, it was about $500 as a non-certified coach.
Yeah.
Okay. And Robin Kern says Capri has a form online that outlines the cost. So if you want to head to Capri CMW.
Oh, perfect.
They'll have a resource. If you want to teach dressage, you have to go through the jump phase.
For the instructor?
Yes.
No one has to do the jump phase for instructor.
Yep. And
so you can choose just to do the instructor flat. Yep. Correct. Yes.
Nobody ever has to jump if they don't want to.
Correct.
Okay. And Becca was quoted $350 for licensed and certified. Non-certified was over $1,000 with Capri. But you're saying if you give them a call and you say you're a candidate for coaching certification and you're in the program and you're becoming registered, that you'll qualify for that discount?
Yeah. And again, the form is available on the EC website. When you go in your eCampus, they do have a specific form that you need filled out and signed by your insurance company. So you can just print that or download it and email it to your insurance company.
Okay, super. Any other questions through the chat, folks? If you want to chime in verbally. I just want 40 people talking at once at the end of the presentation. Go ahead, Sarah.
Nancy, I had a question that I'm not sure, Danielle, if this is a question more for you or if this would be more of a Deanna and Nicole question. But when the 2022 program rolls out where candidates are paired with mentors, is that going to be a regional pairing or is that going to be based on, who's available? Do we have any kind of information on that yet?
No, not yet. I mean, the board just met at the end of January to propose budget numbers for obviously our operating this year. And I think that we have to basically hammer out a few details and then present it to the membership in the NBEA and find out, where are these people? Like, are they in Moncton or are they all in Fredericton or are they in the Miramichi? And so whether we have to bring people, to a city or we're going to send people to you, it really depends on the interest. And obviously the time and commitment that people, we have the commitment from evaluators to help and the mentors to help. And so I guess the short answer is that we'll wait to see when we send it out and see where people are located and how and when we will make those mentors available to you.
And then Danielle, question for you was, in terms of the locker, is that on the NCCP coach.ca website? And can you set your own locker up yourself or do you need someone to set it up for you?
You can create your own password for it as long as you have your NCCP number handy. If you don't have your NCCP number handy, you can email them and they're actually quite good. Usually within a few hours, they will email you your number back. Then you just go on the website and you make your account and then you're good to go.
So you don't have to be an instructor yet to get an NCCP number, right?
Correct.
So that's what everyone needs to do is get on NCCP and get a number assigned, and then you get into the locker and then you get onto Equestrian Canada as well. So there's a little bit of homework on that part you have to do.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to include that link in the email of resources I'll send out.
Sorry, I have like 2 more questions and then I'm done.
No problem.
In terms of first aid certification, is there a company that it has to be through? Because I'm not sure if, like, some folks might get it through work. So I'm just wondering if having it recent through work if I can use that certification.
There is no specific company that you need to use as long as it covers the standard first aid.
Right.
I have a list of resources for first aid as well, and I'll include that too, Sarah. Thanks.
And
Thanks.
again, with the way the eCampus works is that as soon as you have your first aid certificate, you upload it yourself into your eCampus account, and then the EC on their end will just clear it for you.
Can I ask a question about the first aid?
Yeah.
So does it have to be through Red Cross or St. John's versus like the ski patrol?
No, there's no specific company that you need to use for your first aid as long as it meets the requirements that EC is asking for your first aid. So as long as it's standard first aid, you're good to go.
Standard is always a 2-day training, right?
Yeah.
And then my last question, I think, I'm not sure who this is for, but the expression of interest, you had the picture of Cindy and Nicole. Should we be emailing them, and also Nancy or Deanna, or who, how do we show our expression of interest?
I think it's
Make
best.
sure we cover the bases.
I think it's always best to go through the office for sure to start with, and make sure you let us know if you want English or Western, and then the office can then send it out to Nicole or Cindy, and that way we're all in the loop that way. But it's always best to go through the office first, and we have a bit of a paper trail. I mean, Nicole and Cindy, this is, again, people have to realize that other provinces, you know, they have full-time staff people that work coaching in, you know, Ontario has 5 staff people in their office. We have 0.5 in our office. So it's always best to do a good paper trail and send it to the NBEA office, and then tell us if you're English or Western, and then we will include Nicole or Cindy in that paper trail. And then it's better to have a few people more involved, and then we can decide how we're going to then start communicating with everyone.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Nancy?
I see none in the chat. Anybody else want to chime in real quick?
So we have Danielle coming back next Sunday to talk about if you're already in the coaching program and you'd like to advance, or maybe you are out not current and up to date. So if you're have other questions, or you've had a chance to review this presentation, why don't you join us again next Sunday? And then try to just educate yourself a little bit more. Please don't be overwhelmed by it. And it's pretty serious, right? Like, I mean, you're starting to teach people on 1,400-pound horses, and it's pretty serious. So you need to not be overwhelmed by it, but at the same time, take the journey, take the pathway. Let us help you get involved in the program. And I just think, like I said, I can't reiterate enough that you're playing with fire if you're out there teaching and you're not certified and you're not protected. All we're hearing now is safe sport, concussion protocol, and if something happens on your property and they can prove negligence, then you don't have a leg to stand on. But if you've done, we all have problems and we all have accidents that happen, hopefully not many, but you need to show that you've been doing your due diligence to become a good horse person in the barn, with lessons. And I can tell you that the MBEA will be promoting more people to be riding with people that are certified. And remember, my caveat to that is that you are certified, your certification is never taken away from you, but you have to be up to date and current. So just because you passed your certification 10 years ago, 30 years ago, they can't take that certificate away from you, but you will not be advertised as a current up to date. So the current up to date is what has to follow that certification. And that's what the NBEA will be promoting, and asking the question, if your coach isn't, then why aren't they? Because I think most of our students just assume that you've got a barn, you have horses, you must have certification. And a lot of people we know in New Brunswick don't. Oh, actually all over Canada. So we'll be trying to do a good communications plan to ask people, listen, it comes down to, you can ride with whoever you want to ride with, but it's our job is to inform our membership, to try to seek people that are trying to get involved in a program and have the right tools and the right protection in case something happens, and you know the signs as well. So review the material that we've done tonight. Join us again next Sunday if you've got a question or you just would like to know more about the process. And we're going to call on Danielle to help us with our lesson plans and emergency action plans and any kind of other homework that you have to start with this portfolio. How can we help you with that? So, you know, all I can do is extend my hand and say we're willing to help. You guys have got to come, you know, stick your toe in the tub and see if we can go a little further with it. So I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you to Danielle for presenting us on paper the whole pathway. It's on paper.
I'm not sure if it helped much, but
no, but it's there. And I mean, you know, again, we go get a driver's license. We do lots of things. We have to do the paperwork. We've got to do the studying, and we've got to present ourselves to get our driver's license. Some of us aren't very good, but we get better over time. So it's the same thing with coaching. So we're getting a license to teach people how to ride a 1,000-pound animal. So you got to know, and you got to be protected on both ends for that. So if there's nothing else, Nancy, I will say thank you to everyone for joining us and good night. And I look forward to seeing you, Danielle, next Sunday. And again, the invitation is there for people to join us as well.
Awesome.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. And good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.